feel like an intro, but this season 2 could have been done in one, but felt I needed to. The perfection of our conception projected through reflection that's connected is a blessing, and I needed to. Plus I need a few moments just to speak to you about these individuals whose mission to deceiving you, saying the achievable is just so unachievable, but that's only conceivable if you say and believe it's true. Protect the presence of essence with the aggression of a guard dog. Did you forget you was a god, y'all? Maybe you need someone believing you. Well, damn it, I believe in you. Not cause I'm expecting perception, I can see me in you. There's power in the questions and lessons is what I teach to you. Injecting my perspective suggested, no, I don't preach to you. Rejecting that you less than forever, know that you equal to. But this really for my people though, cause evil grows inside of the kind of minds that are ego drove. So engulfed inside of they ride, they cannot see the road. They criticize your drive, apply, they won't even go. Cause fear and faith is the only thing in comparison. One requires courage, the other desires evidence. How can what was ever determine what never been? Then again, the devil is ignorance mixed with arrogance. But we are the conscious collective. And CC, so I hope you get the message. But we are the conscious collective. Or CC, so I hope you get the message. Well, I think we get so caught up in what was instead of focusing on the today that we have to work on making a better today and tomorrow for those that follow, because we all in this together. So when he says, can you spare some change for the homeless? I say, not at the moment, and just kept walking in. Now I say this because if you guys watch the show, I don't want to lie. Nor do I want to be like, ew, I'm not giving you my money. Get away. What you doing here? Dirty man. Oh, if you do this, you may get something. Am I a good person? Can I even be a good person? Can any of us? Because everything needs a reflection to exist. So if you're a good person, doesn't that mean because you have the capacity to be a bad person? And what you choose to do is up to you. Well, yeah, that feel good right there, but welcome. Thank you. You are too kind. You are what they call too kind. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. There's power in the question. Information is information. I'm your host, Q, and we here doing our thing here in season 2. Because I do it for the kids. What's going on with y'all, man? Let me take these headphones off. I know I do my banter. I know y'all love it. I know y'all love my banter, right? Y'all love, it's just me? Y'all don't like my banter? So I was thinking about talking about the book of Enoch. But I feel like if I'm going to talk about the book of Enoch, I want to probably first talk more about the Bible. Like I said, it's the #1 selling book in the world. If you look at the information, I should put up a picture showing y'all, like, look, this is what they said about how much the Bible is sold over everything else. We're not going to get into the concept of the Crusades and just the philosophy behind it. And you know what? I'm not going to go into the Bible today, but let's talk a little bit. I just want to say this. So when you think about the Bible, right? If you read the human history, his story, remember that, his story. So if you read history about what was going on and you read the story about the Crusades, where they have crucifix on their shield as they kill people, but they're like soldiers for God. And when I talk to people, they be like, yeah, that show you right there. That's some nonsense. That Christian stuff is some nonsense. First off, if you read the Bible, the first time you even hear the word Christian is in the New Testament. And it was the people of, I believe, Enoch. And they were called Christians, not as a religion, but because they believed in Christ. And I believe Christ's divinity. But that's a whole nother thing. So back to what I was saying. So people would tell me like, man, that proves that this isn't right. This isn't, this Christian thing, boom, boom, right? In the Bible, don't they do the same thing? Because their story in the Bible, think about this. Now, I'm not going to go too deep today because I'm not talking about the Bible today. But think about this in the Bible. There's parts in the Bible where the house of Israel, and then when they, become the house of Israel and the house of Judah. But in the house of Israel, they were at war. The Old Testament, they were in war. They were murdering people. So, and I think it's funny. I think it's funny when you think about it. In the Old Testament, if I kill you, if my soldiers beat your soldiers, if we come out victorious in this war, which I've never seen a concept where you can actually have a victor in war. There's calamity. People die. Even in the art of war, it tells you you can't win a war if you desolate and destroy the land in which that you're fighting for. If you desolate and destroy the people, you can't win a war because they're gone. They're gone. Like, what did you win? You won rubble. But get back to the Bible. So then they was fighting, and it was like, if I kill you, if I win in this war, if I kill you, that means my God is real and your God isn't. Damn. What kind of spokesman was God looking for in the Bible? Now, I'm not saying this is the real God. I told y'all the God I believe in, God y'all believe in, might be a little different. Just might be a little different. But that's just me. This is the God I choose to believe in. I don't think my God is that human, just to be real. People are like, oh, that's blasphemous. It's a book. It's from a book. Harry Potter is a book. God damn it. It's a bunch of books that are very popular. And some people believe in these books. I don't think that makes it the truth. But this is what I do tell people. And if you guys are here from season 1, you know I've referenced this already. So as people, we were made from goo. Like, you were goo. Think about that. You were goo. Yeah, sticky stuff. Ugh, that's what you were. You were goo. And whatever created us, what I would call God, you can call it whatever you want. But what I would call God, just as a title, it has something coded in us that from that goo, that you grew skin, bones, eyes, conscious, personality, ugly, cute, fat, skinny, tall, short, all from that goo. All from that goo. That means that it was already pre-coded in you. So when I tell people that, that's the God I believe in. I believe that God is so forward thinking. I believe the God I believe in is so forward thinking and so actually awesome. That God deserves all your songs, to be real. So if that God created you like that, in what I would call to be a pattern, just like your blood flows in a pattern, the cells in your body, pattern, everything follows a pattern. And I told you, I believe that the Creator created creation in reflections to live out the patterns for the reason they exist. And we are the creation. Now, I've said this a bunch of times, but if you're new to the show, I'm going to say it for you again. Definitely get caught up in season 1. But I believe the Creator created creation in reflections to live out the patterns for the reason they exist. And we just don't know the reason. The reason comes from God, the Most High, Allah, Shio, whatever you call God, the Creator. All capital letters, the Creator. That's what I believe in. So with those patterns, it's certain things we have to follow. I think that's why you can see similarities in yourself and in animals. Or even if you look at the way we create science, you have a battery. Think of a battery. You have the positive, which is considered also the masculine. And then you have the negative, which is considered the feminine. I don't know if that's sexism or not, but I'm just telling you what the science stuff say. So the negative charge or the feminine charge, it holds all the energy. And the positive or masculine part of the battery, that job, its job is to manage all of that energy. And I told you, I believe what a man is, what I call being a man, is managing anything necessary. And I believe a woman's job is working overtime, managing anything necessary, because they're the vessel that has to bring life in. So I think even in the science, you see the similarities. You know, even with the masculine, feminine, you put in a plug. You got the masculine, you know, it point out, you know what that represent. And then the woman part or the feminine part goes in. You know what that goes, you know what that represent. You put them together, black TV come on, something come on. You feel me? So you can build something. So I believe that because we were so pre-coded, even from goo, that I believe that even when we try to tell stories to manipulate others, or try to tell a story to justify or tell your point of view, tell something that you want to be seen, I believe that even in your story, the underlying truth, that pattern will always persist. It's similar to how I did with Nature or Nurture in season 2. If you listen to that episode, and I use Lion King as the crux of the story, and I even bring in Art of War and some of the quotes from the Art of War. But even in a story you're trying to tell, I believe that pattern will persist. So when you tell a story, even when you try to tell a story and say it's about God, who you are and what kind of person you are will always be in there. So even in this book that you say is about God, you can see the human traits in there. They'll tell you God is a jealous God. First commandment is, I am the Lord your God. I think the second one is, you shall put no other gods before me. You see the way that humans take that. So even when they tell, I ain't gonna get into that because I say I ain't gonna do Bible. So I'm gonna just get back to my point. So anyway, when you tell the stories of the God in which you say is the one true God that you believe, what kind of spokesman do you think the real God needs for you to go out killing people if they don't agree? That even in your story, you kill people that don't agree and you justify it by saying the reason I was able to kill you is because my God is real and your God isn't. Just like a predator to give its prey a philosophy to justify the reason they killed them. But in the book, they tell you God told me it was supposed to go this way. So when I see the Crusades and people be like, man, that proves that the Christianity stuff, it's also in the book. There's a part in the book where it said kill every woman, child, like murder them. But that's what it said. So when you see the Crusades, you don't think that just shows reflections of each other? So when somebody tells me like, man, that's the word of God, all the books were inspired by God, I would love if I had a book that I can say I believe was all inspired by God. But as I always say, when did humans stop lying? I'm gonna ask you that again. When did humans stop lying? And they're the only ones I know that wrote the book. So that's why I tell you there's power in the question, because you have to have the knowledge yourself enough to ask the question. There's power in there that you just don't accept something because somebody told it to you. How is getting closer to the creator, the God that created you, that you're a part of, how is getting closer to that any route outside of going through yourself first? It just makes sense to me. And maybe I'm just a crazy guy. But the other part of the show that I tell you, information is information. No information is fact, because humans had the pen. Humans tell it. You ever play the game telephone? Hey, man, I like chicken. It'd be 30 people in the seat. By the time it gets to 30, you come back around like, I made a chicken from scratch. You'd be like, how did it change from that? With just 30 people. What do you think is going to happen over time? Now, I'm not trying to, because my mama said I curse too much on the show. So I'm going to try to, use less. I don't actually curse that much when I talk regularly, but when I do the show, I do kind of get a little free. Like I know y'all told y'all we family. So what do you think happens? Even if you play the game telephone, if everybody's played it, or if you haven't, let me explain it to you real quick. So you get like, let's say about 20, 30 people sitting in a circle. One person says a sentence or a phrase to the person to their side, left or right. And then that person their job is to repeat it to the next person. Their job is to repeat it, and it should come back around to the first person. And you try to see if what you said initially, what you sent out, if that's what comes back to you. And everybody I know that played this game, including myself, it never comes back originally what was said. And I think that just shows the human element of it. That's the pattern of who humans actually are. So when I say information is information, it's not to defecate. I'm gonna say defecate. It's not to defecate on your beliefs. It's saying I'm saying it's okay if you believe it. I actually agree with you believing. The religion I created called Knowledge of Self, it accepts everything you believe. The only criteria is make sure you believe it. Is that tough? Make sure you filter it through your own consciousness, and it's not somebody just telling you something, you just going with it because they repeated these words that you spell like an incantation. But that's neither here nor there. So when you tell me like, man, the Crusades prove that the Bible, God is love, man, God, it's a part in the Bible where it say God got a legion of good angels that go out and do good things, but he also has a legion of bad angels that go out and do bad stuff. Makes sense to me. Everything needs a reflection to exist. So anyway, but there's an episode I got where I talk more about God and my idea, and not just questions, but it was episode 11 of season 1, if I'm not mistaken. It was called Does Might Make Right? And I asked the question, What if God is just pure creation? That's what God is. God still created all of us. What if the true God is pure creation and God's reflection is destruction? So God is working constantly overtime to create everything faster than destruction can destroy it. Would you love God any less? If God wasn't considered the strongest, the mightiest, if he couldn't whoop everybody, but it was just God's job was pure creation, would you praise them? Would you praise God any less? Would you believe in God any less? But it's a good episode. Y'all check that out. I think I make a good question with that. So anyway, so I ain't gonna go into the Bible because, you know, it's a lot of stuff in it. And if I do it, I don't want people getting mad. But whatever you choose to believe, I respect your belief. I believe everybody's belief should be respected. Everyone's, no matter who you are, your belief should be respected. But if you just going off some shit because somebody just said it, I think that's called stupidity. Just in my opinion. Just in my opinion. I can't tell you what it is or is. So anyway. So I'm not going to go into the Bible, even though I just talked about it for a little while. But I just think that the way that we're coded from our goo, you can't get away from that pattern. So the truth is always going to persist, even when you try to go away from it. Even when you try to do something outside of that pattern, you're not God. God is so forward. You think you can outthink God? Come on, man. Let me see you make something goo, get some goo, and it turn into everything it's supposed to turn into. Come on now, don't be silly. Don't be silly. The one true God, the one true creator. Come on, man. Don't be silly. So anyway, I was also thinking about talking about the book of Enoch, but I'm like, man, I probably want to write some stuff. I probably want to go back through it, get some points, because there's some stuff I can talk about. Because Enoch is very interesting, because Enoch is mentioned, I think, in Genesis. And I think that's the last time Enoch is mentioned in Genesis. But Enoch doesn't die. Enoch just walked with God. God was like, hey, Enoch, you cool. Let's go. That's what happened in the Bible. And then Enoch was kicking it with God. But for Enoch to have a book, I think that's very interesting. And the story of the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it was just very interesting. And I read the book of Enoch a long time ago. I had a dream I went to hell, y'all, when I was 16. I'm going to tell y'all about that one day. I may talk about it because I got a bunch of dreams written in my phone, and I've had some crazy dreams. So I may talk about it one day. But I think Enoch is just interesting. And people love the story of Book of Enoch because it tells you more about the giants or the Nephilim, how the Watchers, it was supposedly, I think 200 Watchers that was supposed to watch the earth, and then they laid with the humans. So that means humans was bad. Look, the OG humans must have been bad. The OG people, I'm going to say people. The OG people must have been bad. The angels was like, you angelic. You know what I'm saying? They got angel food cake. They be like something angelic. That's high level. And for that to be like, man, look at the old girl sitting there switching. Man, they was on it. So anyway, I thought that's interesting. So I don't think I can do a whole episode. I can talk about it a little bit. So there's also another thing that was in the Dead Sea Scrolls besides the Book of Enoch, the Book of the Giants. So there's actually two versions that I know about. It was one, what was his name? I think his name was Manny, and they created a religion off of it. It was like 300 CE. I think that's what it was. Don't quote me on that. Y'all got Google. I ain't finna Google. So, but the story of the giants is like more detail of them, like the Book of the Giants, like was cool. Because think about it, you know, the most famous giant is Goliath, because David hit him with the slingshot, right? Goliath had 3 brothers, so it was 4 of them. Those 4 brothers, but it doesn't say that that's their name, because one of the giants' name in the book was Ganesh, I think. Gilgamesh, that was his name, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, go ahead, just look it up. So Gilgamesh was one of the brothers. But I thought that was interesting. It's the story of 4 giant brothers. So what happened is they start having dreams of like things that you know are going to happen if you read the Bible. Like I think they kept having dreams. It was haunting them or something like that. One dream was about the flood, which comes later, which in the book of Enoch, it explains like that's what the flood was for, because the giants are abominations. They were abominations. That an angel and a human never supposed to lay together and then make offsprings. They're abominations. So the flood was supposedly coming to wipe them out. And Noah, with his sons, Ham and all that, it's a bunch of stuff with that too. But with the giants, I think it's interesting because a lot of people don't talk about the giants. The book of the giants. I'm thinking if I should do this outside of my show, start going through some of the stuff I read and doing documentaries, or if you want to call them documentaries, the Q version of them. But so with the story of the giants, I like how they were scared. They were basically seeing prophecies. Do you know they can fly? Did you know in the book of the giants, one of the giants flew to Enoch to go talk to him about the dream. He was like, man, we having these dreams. We can't figure it out. One had a dream about a flood. Another had a dream about, I think it was supposed to be like the Messiah, like a baby born of immaculate conception. They had multiple dreams that they were scared about. And they went to Enoch to talk to him. And he bowed to Enoch. It's a whole ordeal. But anyway, that was my banter. Guess what? That was my banter. How about that? Me going through, I don't know what to talk about. That's my banter. I got a text message. Hold on. So, let's talk about something. Since we talking about people, humans, things like that, the biblical, the stories that people make up, which is amazing. I love stories. If y'all know me, y'all know I love stories. Even if it's a bad story, if you created the story, I would love to listen to it because I love stories. That's amazing. That's when you're using your consciousness, which I call your God essence. That's what's from God, I believe, your consciousness. The goo is one thing. The goo growing all that, I get that. But that essence, that personality, who you are, I believe that's actually from God or the creator, whatever you call God. Not here to argue, just here to tell my story and my perspectives. So when you make a story, I believe you're God, you're being God of that story. And the attention to detail, how meticulous you can be, how creative you can be, how much it means to you, that's amazing to me. And I love a good story. So I can watch a bad movie and have fun. I can watch a great movie and have so much more fun, but I'm going to have fun with a good story. So I'm wondering, because I actually wanted to do this last season, but I had so much I could have did for knowledge of self. Season 1 is about knowledge of self. But I said, let me probably put in season 2 and let's bring it into wisdom. Because I can talk about everything I talk about in different dynamics. So I can be like, sympathy for the devil and knowledge of self. Then I could do sympathy for the devil in a wisdom approach. And it'll be so different. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. If y'all start paying me, I'll start doing more stuff. Trust me. Now I'm just getting out my story. But I do have one. And I may blend two topics that I was thinking of doing together. The one premise was, do you want to be a good person? Or just do you want the benefits and perception of being a good person? The other topic I wanted to do was, what's the benefit of being a good person? And I feel like these are great questions. Like my whole show is to get you to think. That's basically what it is. I tell my story, of course, give you my perspective, tell you what I think, but it's mainly to try to get you to think for yourself. That's it. Unlock that wisdom in you, not just go off what I say, but unlock yours. And I hope you enjoy mine. It's so interesting to me because I've had this conversation with so many different people where I would ask them like, are you a good person? Then I ask them, what makes you a good person? Remember I told you in season 2, it's about the 3 W's. So it's what do you want? When do you want it? And the work you're willing to put in to get it. And if you're blessed enough, you can get a 4th W, which is with whom do you want to share it? Now it's similar to season 1. Now this is about wisdom. All start with W, all 4-letter words. And in season 1, it was all about the Holy Trinity, the self. I believe we're all stuck in a Holy Trinity. However you look at it, every religion has a Holy Trinity. Science has Holy Trinities. Everything is a Holy Trinity. You can have, in science, you have liquid, gas, and solid. You have today, tomorrow, yesterday. You have Born, live, die. We're all stuck in a holy trinity. Just like left can't be right without you there to perceive it. In season 1 with the Holy Trinity, what I talk about, and my three-letter words for season 1 was why, how. These are questions, because this is about internal knowledge of self. First question is always why. Why did that happen? Why is this going on? Second question, how. How do you figure this out? How do you fix it? Boom, boom. And you can't do either of those without doing another 3-letter word, which is the action of ask. So you have to do something. That's why I'm big on what you choose to do. Remember I told you, take the D from devil, you left with evil. Take one of the O's from good, you left with God. Then what you got with yourself, D-O. What you choose to do is up to you. Anyway, that's my little, my little whatever you put together, little sayings or whatever. So in season 2 with wisdom, that's why when I ask these questions, they can all be different. So I can ask the same questions in season 1, but it'll be why and how. That'll be how I approach it. But in season 2, everything starts with what. That's why I did the episode what. If you guys like that, that was fun. I was thinking about doing every one of them and doing a whole episode for each one. But we'll see, because I'm already a bunch of episodes in and I got a lot more written. So I may not go into it, but I may go into it if y'all start paying me season 3. Anyway. So what makes you a good person? And if you want to be a good person, when do you want to be a good person? Okay, and based off the time on when you want to be a good person, how much work are you willing to put in to be that good person? Or do you not care about what you are, but you care about how others perceive you? It's like how I talk about in season 1 when I said the shit that irritates me a lot is like, I grew up in a little rough. So people would be like, don't call me the B word. Don't call me the B word. It's a big thing where I'm from. You don't call a man a B word because then you got to prove it or it's going to be handled. So I would laugh at dudes that played tough like that wasn't really tough, because I'd be like, you care more about not being seen as a B word than not being a B word. Come on, man. It's like people that you care more about being perceived as rich than actually being rich. What kind of wisdom is this? I'm gonna tell y'all what happened to me. I'm gonna go at it from a story. So I gave this homeless guy $5. Now I'm not calling him homeless because, he was like sitting outside with all what looks to be his belongings on the ground, leaned up against the wall. No, because I've been homeless before. I've been homeless multiple times before. So it's not a funny thing to me. I'm not making fun of him because of that. I'm just speaking on it. And yeah, we can make jokes or whatever, but it's not funny, the situation within itself. And I can only imagine the struggles he has to go through as being homeless. But I call him homeless because he said, hey, can you spare some change for the homeless? Those was his exact words. So I'm just going off what he told me. But when I was getting off, I think it was either my scooter or my car, I forget which one. So as I'm getting off out of my vehicle or off my vehicle and I'm walking into the store, it was 2 people. They were walking in front of me. It was a woman and a man. They probably 8 feet between each other, but they were walking and I'm the third person walking. Now I didn't see him lean up or hear him say anything or asking them for change. But he asked me. And I was wondering, why would he ask me? What made him ask me? Now, mind you, I'm high look, stereotypes and things like that. But I think I had on my hoodie, and I don't be smiling because I've been told multiple times when I walk around, people tell me oh, you look so mean. You look so mean. Man, who pissed you off? They said when I walk around, that's how I look. I don't be walking around smiling. What kind of weirdo would I be walking around just, what's going on, guys? What kind of weirdo would I be if I do that? Plus, life is life. Why am I walking around smiling? But I've been told so many times how mean I look when I walk around. So what made him ask me? I wonder. I don't have the answer. I just wonder what made him ask me. Do you think he can look at me and tell that I was a caring person? I don't know. Just guessing, but I digress. So you ever give a homeless person more than they asked for and think like, oh, you got an express blessing on your way? He asked for change. I hit him with a fin ball. In my heart, I was like, man, I can feel it. Now, that's not why I did it. I'm not going to make it seem like, yeah, that's why I did it. No, it was just, I felt a kinship because I can relate and say, I've experienced what you're going through. So when I'm walking in, you know what? I'm going to tell y'all what happened. So quick story. So I'm walking into the store. It's these two people there in front of me. Now he let them pass. Now mind you, I got my phone out because I'm reading my list on stuff I got to get from the store. So I'm looking on my phone, but when I'm looking on my phone, I'm still surveying the surroundings. I told y'all I'm crazy. So I'm still surveying the surroundings to make sure everything good. So I saw him first. That's how I was able to see, like, you didn't ask them for anything, but you asked me. Anyway, when I saw him, it didn't look like he was looking at me because I'm looking at my phone and I kind of like glanced up a little bit and I'm looking and reading my list. But I think he probably saw me see him, but I didn't want it to come off like I was avoiding eye contact. But at the same time, like constantly looking at him, that'd be weird too, right? You just looking at him like I'm just staring at him be homeless as I look at my phone and just walk by him. Like after me seeing him, see me. Like he's not a real person with feelings and going through something tough. So I looked at him with what I would call right in the middle of avoiding eye contact and staring at you like, damn, you homeless? Like I found like in my opinion, that's how I looked at him, right in the middle. So after I make like brief eye contact with him, right in the middle eye contact, not staring at him and not avoiding eye contact like he's not a person, but right middle eye contact. So when I make that eye contact, and that's when he leaned forward because he's sitting on the ground. So he leans forward while sitting on the ground and says, can you spare some change for the homeless? And like he's looking up at me and I'm looking down at him because he's sitting on the concrete. So when he says, can you spare some change for the homeless? I say, not at the moment, and just kept walking in. Now I say this because if you guys watch the show, I don't want to lie, nor do I want to be like, ew, I'm not giving you my money. Get away. What you doing here? Dirty man. Not gonna do that. So while I'm doing my shopping, I made up in my mind, I said, you know what? If I get some change, I'm gonna give him $2. Right? It's more than the change he asked for. So I do my little shopping. As I get done, leave the cashier, I kind of forgot about him. While I was in the store, I forgot about him. That was the thing. So as I'm walking past the cash register, about to walk out of the little automatic doors, and I'm, man, homie. So I checked my wallet. All I had in there in cash was 2 5s and a single, a $1 bill for people that don't know a single. I don't know where you're from. So now that I see that, I got 2 5s and a dollar bill. So these are my choices. I just finished standing in line and I'm at the door ready to leave. So either I can walk out, keep walking, give him nothing, or I can get back in line and buy like some gum or something and get some change so I can give him the $2 that I made up in my mind, or give him $1 or give him $5. So I'm standing at the door or by the door, because if you get too close, the automatic door opens and he's, not too far from the door sitting on the ground. So I'm standing by the door and I'm like really standing there in the middle of the store, just thinking. I don't really have a lot, just to be real. I don't have a lot. I'm not walking around balling, but it's not much of anything now in this day and age you can really buy for $1. And I'm also thinking like, man, but he asked for some change and $5 is a big jump for some change. Like, and I think I had to be on my scooter because I keep changing my car. Don't be trying to break in my car like I'm taking his quarters. No, get out of here. Like, I'm gonna get you back for Donnie. I'm taking your quarters. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. But yeah, I keep changing my car, so I must have been on my scooter. But I'm like, man, skipping, he asked for some change. That's what he asked for, some change. And I was gonna give him some change. But then I was gonna give him $2, which was more than a change. That was already my good deed for the day anyway. But all I got in here is $1 and 2 5s. And I told him not at the moment. If I'd told him no, I'd have just walked out. Because as I told you guys, I do not like lying. But I'm like, I don't want to get back in line. This is what good laziness can kick in. Because I'm like, man, I ain't like the cashier anyway. He was taking forever. I think he smelled funny. He looked like he was, I ain't gonna talk about what he looked like. And when I did this, I wasn't saying like nothing. I thought he was a little slow. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I thought he was a little slow. He probably wasn't really slow, but he was acting slow. Just slowness. So I'm standing at the door. I don't want to get back in line. I didn't say I wouldn't give him anything. I said not at the moment. And I don't know if I ever see him again. So if I don't give him anything, it's kind of like lying. And so now it's coming down to either give him $1 or give him $5. Can't really buy anything with $1. Then I thought some more. I thought about things that I've been through and how blessed I am that $5 wouldn't really hurt me at this moment. But it could possibly mean so much to him to have a stranger give him more than what he asked for. Especially when you already out here and you got to deal with the humiliation of having to beg people. Especially as a man. Especially as an adult. Especially as a God. Because you are out here begging strangers as your best option for survival in an already tough life. Now, mind you, all this thinking happened in about 4 seconds. Remember I told y'all, if y'all know me, I told y'all, like, the way my brain works, I'll think, oh, of course I'm exaggerating now. I'll think like 1,000 things in a second. But the way my brain works, I'll think so many things in a brief amount of time. That's how I'm able to do the story time with Q the way I do them. Because in those brief seconds, I think about so many things. That's just how my mind works. So as I'm standing there thinking that for like this 4 seconds, but I'm thinking all this stuff I'm telling y'all about. And I decide to give him the $5. Give him one of the $5s. Now I'm taking it out my wallet before I walk it. Like once I make the decision, I'm taking out my wallet inside the store. Because I want to be digging all in my wallet. I'm like, oh yeah, nah, you don't do that. Homeless or not. I don't know you. And this could be a setup. I grew up different. So when I take the $5 out, I fold it up. Because I don't want to like hand it to him the long way. Like, look what I gave you. Like I'm trying to stunt that I gave you $5. And you need to see that I'm giving you $5 when all you asked for initially was some change. So I folded up so you can't see it, handed it to him as I was going out, and I just kept walking. So I just kept walking past. So it's like, in my mind, I can still see it. So coming out the store like this, and I'm walking by, he's sitting on the floor to my right, or on the ground outside to my right. So I folded up, I handed to him, and I just kept walking. Because I didn't want any recognition. I wasn't trying to look for recognition. I wasn't trying to see his face go, oh, it's $5? Like, no, whether he looked at it like that or not. So I wasn't trying to get recognition, but just to simply help somebody in a place that wouldn't hurt me to do so. But as soon as I walked past him, my conscience was like, okay, all right, I see you, Q. Out here doing selfless good deeds. I see you. God might see that and give you a big blessing. Like you might hit the jackpot lottery. Like go play it. Go play it. You might hit you ain't want no recognition. You gave him $5. He only asked for some change. Like my consciousness is crazy. If y'all knew the stuff that was going on in my head when I be doing stuff, I told you, I think like that in a brief, quick second. I done thought so many thoughts. And this is a part of myself. Okay. Well, my consciousness was letting me know like you is, hey Q, you doing good stuff out here, bro. You doing good. Hey, you being a change you want to see. You over here helping, bro. It ain't about the amount. It's about if motherfuckers, my mama told me I curse too much. It's about if people could just care and think about people enough. This type of behavior, this being repeated, can create something good, bro. God see that? Man, you should play lottery because you got a big blessing. I think you got one coming. Oh, I didn't tell y'all the reason I even had cash, because I know y'all probably thinking like, dude, you walk around with $11 in your pocket? You sure you had $5 to give? I don't really walk around with cash. We live in a time where everything is through a card. So the only reason I had the cash is because I planned on playing the lottery that day. That's why my consciousness was thinking like that. That's why in my brain I was thinking like, man, you should really play the lottery. Now the jackpot was up to something. I got a lottery algorithm. It's a whole ordeal. I had this thing and said I'm gonna win the lottery, the jackpot lottery on a Friday. I was supposed to buy my mama this big brick house and a red Ford Taurus. I still remember it. I told her about that when I was a kid, and she's brung it up a few times since I've been an adult. And yes, I still haven't forgot. It's how I feel, and it's gonna happen on a Friday. It's what I feel. Hey, look, everything is yes until you get the no. Everything is yes until you get the no. So that's why my consciousness was thinking that. Another thing I remember thinking was, because I'm standing there thinking all this. So another thing I remember thinking was like, man, you got this cash so you can play the lottery. And then another part of myself was like, what are the odds that you gonna win the lottery? You gonna go spend $4 or something on each ticket or something, and the only thing you're paying for is trash. You're literally just paying for trash because you're just paying for the piece of paper now. Because if it's not worth the money that you're going for and you lose, you just paid trash when you could have actually helped the fellow person, somebody that was going through something, and it wouldn't hurt you to help them. And you rather spend your money on garbage than helping somebody. That was the thing that really gave me that push to give him the $5. I ain't tell y'all that part. And another good thing I thought too, like my consciousness was like, now by doing that good deed, you just may hit the jackpot lottery just from the pureness of your actions and your intentions. I didn't win the lottery. Just because y'all went like, man, did you win? I didn't. Not at this moment. Not right now. Today when I'm recording, I may want it when you see the video or hit a recording. So, hey, never know. But my intentions were pure. My actions were pure. I believe I had a good reason behind it, just to help somebody in a place that I was able to, because it wouldn't hurt me to do so. I learned it from watching my big cousin Donnie, my hero, my celebrity, my role model. I learned it from watching him. That did more to me than some Bible did, just to be real, than some religion did. And I've studied a bunch of different religions, and Donnie's impact was more God sent than a lot of these words y'all tell me these humans be saying. Just in my opinion. But does it take away from my good intentions because of the thoughts I had before and after? Does that take away from my good deed? Does that mean I'm not a good person because I thought about what I may get for doing this, or the euphoric feeling that I may feel that a deity, a creator may, one, be paying attention to me on this little speck of dust of this quadrant of this galaxy or whatever you want to call it, but they paid enough attention to me and may have saw it and was like, you did a good thing, I'm gonna reward you for that good thing. Does that take away from my actions? So am I a good person, or was this actually not a selfless good deed? I know in my mind I wanted to help. I could help. I did think about it. But does it take it away? Because I was looking for an express blessing. I'm like, man, it's an express blessing on its way. Blessing express. You feel me? Now, let's say that was you in that situation. Would you consider yourself to be a good person? I'm just asking, your opinion. You can think about it. You hear it. You watch it. Just think about that. But I got another question, because it's something else I thought about the same day. I say all that to say this. What if the money I gave the homeless guy was actually, like, I found out that the money I gave that homeless guy, dude was walking into the gas station, right into the gas station I was going to go to play, and he picks a quick pick. And because I didn't go in, because I gave my money to the homeless guy, that would have been my walk in. So what I'm asking is, what if you find out the money you gave to the homeless person because you wanted to be a good deed would have been the money to win the jackpot lottery? How would you feel? Are you still a good person? Would you be okay with, like, how would you go whoop the homeless person? Like, I was going to be a millionaire. Like, I gave you the millionaire money. What you buy with it? Nothing? Some food. What's wrong with you? You know how much food you could have bought with that jackpot lottery ticket? I would have gave you more than $5 then if I had a jackpot lottery. But yeah, I bring up that scenario just to ask, are you a good person? If that was you, do you think you're a good person? If you think about the story I just told you, what happened? How do you view it? Do you view it like I'm a good person or had selfish thoughts? And then there's also the concept of you doing something good for somebody, and then look what happened. Because you did that good deed, you didn't get this thing you wanted. But if the blessings come from God, maybe it wasn't for you. But does that become more important than your actual want? So for me, myself, and I'm just putting y'all in my shoes. That's why I told y'all the story. So for me, myself, in that situation, if that money I gave the homeless guy, if that $5 would have led to me getting 50 million, how should I feel? I know how I felt, but how should I feel? Not saying I know how I felt like it was the winner. It didn't happen, because if it did, I don't know how I feel. But I want you to think about it. You know, I can sit here and say I do this show and everything, and I try to give something, but do I get something selfish from it also? To feel like, man, I can make a story. I can put this together. I make so much sense. I'm smart, y'all. So is it more important that you did something to please God, or you didn't get something that you wanted? Now, the good deed you believe will please God, but you could have not did that good deed and got something you wanted. $5, get to the homeless. He gets a good experience. Something happens to him where he has to go through this humiliation of life, where he has to beg humans as his best choice for survival. And you can only imagine the struggle that they go through to not have a home. Sleeping on the floor, begging strangers. Or you out here with millions of dollars and you'll never see the homeless guy again. And you get to do what you want. Are you a good person? Ask yourself. Or do you just want to be perceived as a good person? I think we focus so much on getting over on people, or getting the most that we can out of people for our own selfish benefits, that we lose sight of what I would call a true society. Because I already told y'all about how I feel about the false God society, but a true society where we come together and help each other and understand that we're all in this together. We're all pieces of a puzzle. We're all ingredients to a dish. We're all elements on a periodic table. But we're all in this together. That's what I think a true society should be. Not what seems to be the norm, and what's perpetuated by what I would call the real fearmongers that want to fan the flames of fear in you so they can use that fear to manipulate you. And I get that people are selfish and fearful that if they're not better than somebody else, that means they're doing something wrong. And I would say I do think something is wrong, but that would only be consciously, because you see it that way, in my opinion. But I think that mindset, it can create things. You know, I tell you in a backdoor theory that if you accept something here, you will accept it in other places. And somebody that understands how patterns work, or how consciousness can fall for certain patterns, they can take advantage of that. So that mindset, that if you're not better than someone else, that means you're doing something wrong. That leads to things like the Crusades. Well, my God is right, yours is wrong, and if you don't believe it, you gotta die. Think about the history of humans. We're not far removed from slavery. And that's if you look up the history that's still available, that hasn't been removed or burnt, because humans have had someone enslaved for much longer than this idea of freedom and equality. How long ago did they say slavery ended in America? 1865? Right now we're in year 2023. That's 158 years ago. Yet we still have Juneteenth, because humans wanted to get over on people and get the most they could out of them for their own selfish benefits. Because it supposedly ended in the United States 158 years ago. And before that, it was so much slavery for so many years. They even put it in the most popular book that they tell you is about God. You know, there are scriptures in the Bible that has rules for slaves. Like if you don't obey your master, there are certain like things that happen to you. Like your master can take out your eye. Like this is coming from the same book that they told me preachers love, yet they kill men, women, and children in it. Not the antagonist, the protagonist. The people the book is about, God's people, killed men, women, and children in the book. But this is why I say I believe that no matter what, that pattern will persist of who you are as human, whoever made it. Because even in your story about God, you kill men, women, and children. And you justify it because you said it was in the name of God. God wanted you to do it, or even God gave you what you need to get it done. Let me show you the philosophy in it. Because even in that book, the chosen people, they were enslaved with God on their side, per the Bible. I think we get so caught up in what was, instead of focusing on the today that we have, to work on making a better today and tomorrow for those that follow, because we all in this together. But like, what do I say in my intro? How can what was ever determine what never been? Then again, the devil was ignorance mixed with arrogance. See, we are newer to these ideals than their reflections. So we have to work. And I believe it starts in asking a question in a place you never asked a question before. Understanding how we are all in this together. It's fear that's telling you if you don't have more than others, then you're losing something. Imagine if those who you have more than realize they can come together and take what you have. Because if the have-nots go after the haves will quickly realize that they've been paying the have-nots to protect them from the have-nots by giving them a little more. That's what I think would be more dangerous. But if we can create a society that can remove itself from slavery and its customs, I believe that we can create a more sustainable society, not just one that seems to lead to war every few decades, if we even have to wait that long. So are you a good person? And when I ask that, I tell you that we're reflections of each other. We're all in this together. We may be a little different. We may come in different shapes, sizes, colors, characteristic traits. We're all in this together. We all have to figure this out. And I feel this is so simple. The way I see the world, it's simple. I'm not telling you something super complex. I'm telling you how I see things. And I just have enough faith in you that if you saw it, if you saw the things I can see in our existence, I have enough faith in you as my conscious collective brother, as my conscious collective sister, that if you are aware of it, you will make better decisions because you are a God. So when I ask you, are you a good person? I'm asking it to myself also. That's why when I tell my stories, I always put myself in it. I always put myself in it. And I believe you can relate if you're listening to me. So when I ask you, are you a good person? I ask myself too. I don't know how I would feel in certain situations. I don't know if I would have flipped out if I found out that was the winning lottery ticket I was going to buy, but I gave it to this homeless guy. Maybe I'll actually truly feel good, and maybe I have the answer to my question. Am I a good person? I know my intentions can be good, but I can get benefits from things. Like I told you, I gave season 1 totally free. Season 2 is actually totally free too. I just said you guys can donate. And season 3, you're going to have to pay for. It's Holy Trinity to everything. Just because I believe I'm good at something, they say don't do it for free. I already did it. Well, I didn't do it for free because I told you I do it for negative monies. I pay to do this. I pay the subscription, got the mics, new stuff, light, cameras, whole nother camera, memory cards, system, all that good stuff. But are my intentions tainted with, oh, if you do this, you may get something? Am I a good person? Can I even be a good person? Can any of us? Because everything needs a reflection to exist. So if you're a good person, doesn't that mean because you have the capacity to be a bad person? And what you choose to do is up to you. So don't let your past bully your present into becoming your future. Because what they call pure is tampered with. The cure can't answer it. You're lost in a world looking for answers that's answerless. We're about to have some fun, y'all. Look, man, this show finna change, y'all. Spoon fed long enough, now it's game on. Flame on, Johnny Storm with this napalm. Stay calm, yeah, strong, but it ain't on. Excuse me? But there's power in the question. You'll see that the power's in your essence. Confuse me? But I found it impressive. I constantly responded and found a reflection. is also reflective. Now tell me what is info. Disregard, you don't know what your info. Start saying you a god playing limbo. That shit I had you at odds with your kinfolk. You telling me it came from God cause I'm in rote. Forgive me, but it's hard to compress all his knowledge of self and astonishing in post. To invoke, I'm a god that's within quotes. I've been dope and my conscience a big hope. Accuse me if you think that I'm wrong when I speak with my balls, but this is his show.